I turned The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance into a Dungeons and Dragons adventure like 3 to 4 months ago. Once again, special thanks to Argletharg and Seth for putting this together. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Let's get into it. The campaign starts off. Our hook for the campaign is that each member of the party receives a letter from a cleric talking about a patient. We'll call him the patient. Whoever this is isn't necessarily important, but it is important to each one of the players. Perhaps it's like a family member, a close friend, an old mentor, whoever it is important to each one of the players. That's our hook. We find out that the patient is incredibly sick, and without the player's intervention, he will likely die. The party travels to a hospital in the city. When they get there, they find out that the letter spoke truth. Cleric is there with the patient. The patient is terminally ill. He has just 2 weeks to live if the party is unable to save him. The sickness isn't of the body, it is of the mind, and the players will have to form a soul bond and connect themselves with the patient in order to help rescue him. When the players connect themselves to the patient, they find themselves in a dark world. Just blank emptiness all around him. They do find the patient in there. It is a younger version of him when he was more of a youth, perhaps a teenager. It was an idealized version of himself. Also, with the players and the patient is this mountain of bones and skulls, and atop it is this horrible, awful demon, like this absolute evil incarnate sitting upon the throne. We'll call him the Dark One for the purposes of this story. Players can ascertain this is the thing that's causing the problem. This is what's causing the patient to slowly die. The patient is terrified of this being. And as the players approach it to either fight with it or reason with it, the patient is begging and pleading with them to just give up hope, just leave him behind, leave him for dead. He realizes he's dwelling in all these pitfalls in his life that he does not deserve to be saved. Now, the players can do whatever they want with that information. If they want to try to reason with the Dark One or fight the Dark One, it ultimately leads nowhere. He doesn't listen to anybody. He doesn't speak back. He doesn't raise a finger. He doesn't take damage. It's like this immaterial force that cannot be stopped and got this inevitable nature to it. If the party just ignores the thing or gives up, ultimately, perhaps while they're trying to fight the being, they're slowly taking damage, which forces them to pull back from the creature. If they do that, or if they choose not to fight it at all, they are met with who we're going to call the Lost Soul. The Lost Soul is someone who has died to this thing years ago, decades before the party comes, and now he just sits to heckle the party for trying to fight it off. They chose to fight. If they chose to reason with it, it's this Lost Soul just comes and mocks them for trying to wake up and trying to fight back. He's just you should just go to sleep. Just give up. And party can do what they want with that. The Lost Soul, really similar to the Dark One, just cannot be reasoned with. Just this horrible force. Right before the players wake up and return to the material world, though, they hear a cacophony of sound in the distance, like musical instruments almost. Party wakes up, and after their soul bond, the cleric reveals to the party that they have been linked with the patient, and they will contract the illness as well if they are unable to save the patient in 2 weeks. Big threat. We have to deal with it. Cleric comes with a solution, though. The man, the patient, he worshipped a light goddess through a lot of his life. At some point, he worshipped a light goddess. Cleric theorizes that if they were able to save this light goddess from a material prison, the light goddess could come into this dark void, help defeat the Dark One, the players could save the patient. This is where we get into the bulk of the campaign. While the players are awake during the day, they are fighting enemies who are trying to imprison the light goddess. They are trying to search, hunt down clues, trying to free this character. Every night when they go to sleep, they re-enter this dark world. They awake closer to the cacophony of sound. They find themselves by a different dark city. When the sound approaches them, they realize it is a parade. It's a black parade. The members are all zombies and ghouls and skeletons. And this cacophony of sound actually kind of boils into beautiful musical playing. Each person is playing their own tune, which is what's giving it that cacophonous nature. But each one of these tunes is bright and happy and joyful. The party, if they spend enough time with it, some successful insight rolls, can learn that this is a group of people celebrating life. They are cherishing every moment they've had in life, and they march towards death, ready to see what lies next. The patient is apprehensive of the Black Parade. It definitely seems grotesque and ugly, but they treat the party with kindness. They invite the party and the patient to travel with them as they all head back towards the Dark One, because right behind the Dark One is the passage into the afterlife. The lost soul finds them naive. He's been lurking around here for decades. He knows of them very well, very closely, and he doesn't really care for them. They're kind of just annoying more than anything to him. That jovial, happy spirit he has lost for years. And that's where we keep moving. They go back and forth. When they're in the dark world, they are going from like city to city, town to town. Every night they go to bed, they uncover like a new memory of the patient, something he's been struggling with, like a difficulty he had in life, or something he was stuck with. Perhaps two cities conflicting over existentialism and depression and what the point of anything is. All of these thoughts just brought to physical forms. I don't have forever. This is just a short. If you want to hear some more of ideas, go watch the full 2-hour live stream. It's fantastic. Either way, they continue back towards the Dark One, unless they choose not to, in which case they're going through these locations on their own without the Black Parade. Same with the overworld. I'm not going to go into every exact thing that happens. That's for you and your party to decide. At some point, the players will free the Light Goddess and try to convince her to help the patient. She will refuse. There is a difficulty for her. It would come at great physical expense to herself. She's really scared of seeing him how he is now in this really ill and sickened state, and doesn't want to see him like that. She wants to remember him how he was in life. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if the players keep pressuring her, they just realize she doesn't really love him anymore. At least she doesn't love him like she did yesterday. This is the final turning point of the campaign. The party realizes that their journey has been for naught. Time is running short, and they are out of options. I'm going to give you 3 potential endings because you're going to want to adapt this to your party and whatever they're looking for. What tells the best story? In your opinion, what works best for your group? So here's 3 endings. First off, the kind of the bad ending, party just realizes there's no use in trying. They go, they find their loved ones, they accept the inevitable, they approach death with fear, they know it's coming for them. That's just the end of it. I don't like that one very much, but that is definitely something the players could do if you want that really dark, hitting tone that is kind of trying to hit some of the emotions that are found in the album. Second one, a lot brighter. Instead of the Light Goddess being unable to be convinced, she is able to be convinced somehow through a series of persuasion checks or favors, what have you. Up to you to decide how you want that to run. But ultimately, she is able to help the party. She's able to come into the Dark World, weaken the Dark One just enough so the players can kill him, saving the patient, bringing him back to life, curing themselves of this curse. Happy ending for everybody. That one has a nice big fight at the end. That could be very entertaining. This is for people who do not want to go quietly into that good night. They will carry on. They are no longer afraid to keep on living. That's my second ending. My third is definitely my favorite. The party spends one last night with the patient in the dream world. They reflect over the locations they've seen, the memories they've formed together. The patient has been visibly changed by this. He's no longer begging for the party to forsake him and just give up. He is seeing the appreciation that the party had for him. I mean, this is someone special to each one of the party members, and he's finally able to realize that he's able to deal with these shortcomings he had in life, and he's no longer afraid of what's coming after. You find peace in his soul. He picks up an instrument. Maybe it's the one that like he taught the bard so many years ago. He picks up the instrument, he joins the band. He joins the Black Parade, playing his own jovial tune, adding it to this beautiful cacophony the players have learned to appreciate throughout the campaign as they all march towards the final throne, the final conflict of the game. Depending on how your players have acted throughout, I could definitely see how the lost soul has also changed. He has seen this spark of life that the players have had for the whole campaign, the reason they've been fighting this whole time. Perhaps he's now mad at the players. Like, why are they just giving up? I don't see the difference between this ending and the first one I brought, where the players just give up and say goodbye to people they love, and that's just it. He chooses to fight the players. This could be our cinematic final battle as he tries to convince them to keep on fighting. But the players have learned that there's just no use, and you have to appreciate the things you were given and prepare yourselves for whatever's coming next. I think it's really cool to see a change in both the patient and the lost soul, as the patient is ready to go to sleep and the lost soul screams at the party, screams at the patient to wake up. This is just a loose skeleton of the whole thing. I hope you liked it. If you did, consider leaving a like. This was a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of fun for sure. Comment what album we should do next. Looking for ideas. If you're a DM who's also passionate about music and understanding it better, consider joining my Discord. I'm going to be looking for more DMs in future episodes of this, so looking for you to reach out. And as always, thanks for visiting the tavern. Safe travels to wherever you're heading.